What's going on, guys? I'm glad to be back. Today we are coming at you with a beautiful unboxing. Even though it's been unboxed and test fired when I got it, we're going to do an unboxing on here for you all, and we're going to go over this. So this is the FNS9C 9mm compact handgun and flat dark earth from FN Firearms. So let's get into her. First, we'll open the box, and we're going to move this out of the way for a moment. One of the things that I generally like is they tell you who it's packed by. So if there is a issue or whatever, and you need to contact FN, you have that number is associated with who they are. When the gun is brand new in the box, it will be in this blue bag inside of this case. You get your basic firearm safety stuff. Anybody that owns a gun would probably have that. That's my receipt. You get your warranty registration card, and you get the FNS manual, which gives you the safety guidelines of the firearm, how to take it down, where to put your little bit of oil, how to clean it, and some specifications on the firearm. If you haven't owned a gun, read that. You get your FN gun lock. Generally, I throw these away because I don't use them. I have a gun safe. But just because that has the brand on it, I'm going to keep that just because I like that little extra touch that they put in there and just putting their logo on the gun lock. And also you get a FN decal sticker, which I have one for every gun I own, so I'm pretty excited to add that to the collection. So let's go ahead and move the box out the way so we can get into the good stuff. So as you can see, the gun will come in this padded nylon case with the FN logo on it. It is actually rather nice. Out of all the guns I own, SIGs, Smith & Wessons, Taurus, Glocks, I actually really like this the best. The presentation just says quality and something they're proud of. So let's open it up. Now, I will say, prior to anything, you get 2 mags with this gun. This is a 12-round magazine plus 1, so 13 rounds. However, this one is loaded, so we're going to set it over here, just out of the way. Just so y'all know, this one is unloaded. This gun is unloaded. And we're going to use this magazine for example. You also get this extended mag, which is 17 plus 1. And it's, I mean, you feel like an operator when you're carrying this thing. I'm gonna tell you, it's a great feeling gun. So you do get those 2 magazines, 12 plus 1, and you get a 17 plus 1 magazine with this gun. Now, some of the features: you do have the back strap. It comes with a large and a medium. Part of the reason I went to shoot this is to verify which back strap I needed on. The large was just a little uncomfortable for me. Just that back hump was a little too much, so I went and put the medium on. That's a real simple process to do. Basically, all you need to do is get your pin punch, and there's this little pin right there. If you push that out, you can slide your large off and slide your medium on and just tap that pin right in. You also get that as well in the pouch. So, a little bit about the gun. It is a 9mm compact 3.6-inch barrel. It does have the Picatinny rail on it. The trigger pull on my Lyman gauge was 7.5 to 7.8 pounds generally every time with the factory trigger. You might vary depending on the gun. After breaking a little bit, you might get it down to like 7.3. I don't really think it's going to go much lower than that. And for a carry gun, duty gun, you know, that is probably okay. As you can see, trigger safety off. You got a good bit of pullback before you get to your wall. It's pretty much clean up into that wall, then a break, and there is no play after the break on the factory trigger. It's break and then it's stop. And you can see your reset is very short and ready to fire again. I put 200 rounds through it when I got it at the range. It is spot on at 20 yards. I mean, you just putting them in the bullseye all day. At 30 yards, I mean, if I'm aiming at the X, I'm within that thing. I mean, it's very accurate. Very happy with that part of the firearm. Also, first, one of the things I noticed when you pick this firearm up is the heft. I do have this over here for an example. This is a Smith & Wesson M&P shield, and just one of the things that I noticed immediately, and not just amongst the Smith & Wessons, but any of them, is just the feel of this gun. I mean, this gun feels like it is made of quality. And FN is definitely someone that takes a lot of pride in their firearms and weapons, and this is the first one I've owned, and I'm just shooting it and going over it and comparing it with the Glocks, the SIGs, the Smith & Wessons, the Tauruses. The manufacturing that these guns go through is top notch. I really have nothing but good things to say about their machining process. So let's get into some of the features. You've got your ambidextrous slide stop, and you do have the ability for ambidextrous thumb safety. These slide serrations on here, if you do spot checks or whatever, if you're a big spot checker, I mean, the serrations, I mean, they're spot on. They're great feeling. There ain't no, slide's not going to slip out of your hand. Slide is what I would say average to cock back. This particular model has the contrast sights on it. I always order my guns with contrast sights, and then I put my True Glow TFOs on there. I really like the tritium fiber optics, and I've actually got a set coming for this today. That'll be a separate video installing those. And I've also got the Apex trigger and sear assembly coming for that today. Do you need it? No. Out of the box, it is what I would call a performing gun. The trigger is clean. There's not much grit in it other than the normal grit that you have when a gun is new, but that will work out. But outside of that, do you need it? No. I just wanted it. That's just something I like to do. This is a hobby for me. So that's what's going on there. This is a striker fire firearm. So let's get into her. Slide this back, and to take it down, you'll slide that back and lock it in with your slide lock, as you do with most guns, and you'll pull your slide stop lever down. Now, one thing I noticed about this, when you release this, like so, you can see it's slightly out of battery right there. If you pull the trigger right now, the slide will not come off. It is a pain. Just push back just a little bit and push it right back to battery. Pull the trigger and the slide will come right off. Just make sure you push it back to battery. I don't know why it's like that, but it just is. In comparison, you know, if you have this one here and you roll it down and pull it, you don't have to, it just comes off. I don't know. The reason I have this gun here, which is unloaded as well, because I just wanted to do a quick little comparison of a few things. One, looking at, this is the FN, and this is the Smith & Wesson. One, the polymer, it's thicker on the FN. It is definitely more robust. It's a far superior polymer than you're getting on the Smith & Wesson. It's thicker everywhere. It's more rigid. There's just hands down no comparison. And I would say this as well with Glocks and my Taurus. The only other gun that is similar with the polymer quality would be my SIG P320. But outside of that, hands down, polymer is much thicker, much more robust on the FN Firearm than it is on the Smith & Wessons and such. So that's why I have this out there for you to show you. It might be hard to see by the eye. I've actually got out the micrometer and looked at it, and there's just really no comparison at all. This is a more robust frame. And if I was in combat or whatever, I would want this one with me. There is no comparison in the quality and the machining and the molding. It's just far superior in the FN. So that's that. Now, one of the things I did want to bring up is people say, oh, the FNs, the barrels are, you know, narrow, or they're not as thick. Well, they're not, and the reason for that, this is a full metal recoil spring, by the way. And I got my Smith & Wesson over here for the side-by-side. I'm trying not to get oil on me, so forgive me. As you can see, and looking at the barrels, you can see how much thicker that barrel is as opposed to this FN barrel. This barrel is more than capable of firing plus P rounds and plus P plus rounds. I can verify for that. I've shot 200 rounds through it, and it ate everything I fed at it with no problem. From a SAMI spec and wall thickness, this is far superior. I know we like to think, oh, we need this thick barrel. That is actually not the case. This thinner barrel is more accurate, and it also saves weight. So just so you can see the wall thickness of the barrel, this is your FN, this is your Smith & Wesson, and I got oil all over me now, but you can see it's the same thing right there with the Taurus. It's a thicker barrel. It's not saying that there's anything wrong with it. Just more machining goes into what needs to be done with this barrel. So it's far superior in the machining as well. Now we'll get that back together and get all the oil off my hand. All right, so that's that. And I'm not saying by any means whatsoever that there is anything wrong with Smith & Wessons or any of that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there's people ask all the time, what's the difference between a $400 firearm and a $600 firearm? Machining is the difference. Not a high point will shoot. You could run over a high point and probably shoot a high point, and it's still going to shoot. But there's limited machining. They look like blocks. The machining is what costs. Materials are the same regardless of who you go with. Machining is expensive. Tooling and quality cutting, that's where your cost comes in. So just as a comparison, you can see this is how they both look, just so you understand what you're looking at. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set the Smith & Wesson back over here, and we're going to lock this back up once we get it where we need it. There, get that out of the way. All right, so that's basically what you're getting. Beautiful quality. Machining is flawless. It's a spot on gun. I'm very happy with it, and I think you would be too. I would highly recommend it. This particular model without night sights is like $550. Here's the deal. You can go buy a Glock because it's a Glock name, and there's nothing wrong with the Glock. There's nothing wrong with SIG or Smith & Wesson. This is my everyday carry gun. It's a Taurus G2C 9mm. Love this gun. We'll go over that in a different video. The point is the manufacturing and machining and everything in this gun is, well, it's just perfect. I mean, it is a firearm to be reckoned with. So would I recommend this gun? Absolutely. Is it a great carry conceal gun? Yes, it is. Is it well manufactured? Yes, it is. Does it run what you put in it? It ran everything I put in it. From Hornady to Winchester to Underwood ammo. It ate everything and just kept on running. So definitely a high quality firearm. And if you have any questions for me or whatever, put them in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them. We will do a shooting video with this, which I was going to do today, but it is freaking pouring down rain, so I'm not going to do that today. So anyways, this is the FSN. And I'd highly recommend it. So check it out if it's something you're interested in. If you have questions or anything or would like to know anything, by all means, put them in the comments below. Please like, share the video, subscribe. I'm here to educate people and try to make it fun and give you the real information. I'm not biased to any one brand. I've got 3 different brands sitting right there, and each one of them is good in their own way. It just gets to a different level when you get to stuff like that. So put any questions or comments you have in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next time. And I look forward to hearing from y'all. We'll see you soon.